Hi guys, it's Liz and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. This week's subject is something that affects millions of people every year in the United States. And I'm talking about PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Now when I say PTSD, the first thing I guarantee comes to your mind is veterans and military personnel. And that is very true. Most people who come back from war suffer from PTSD, and those are major forms of PTSD. Those are the people who have viewed mass murders and their friends dying and people around them dying, and that causes a major disorder called PTSD. Now, there are people who suffer from minor PTSD. Like I suffer from minor PTSD from a situation that happened a while ago, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But major PTSD is something that needs to be handled better in the United States, and it's unfortunate that we don't have the programs or anything like that to help more veterans and more military personnel. I'm going to try my hardest to do this today. It's a very broad subject again, like everything else we talk about, but I'm going to try. So we're going to start with the minor PTSD. I'll talk to you a little bit about my PTSD. About 6 years ago, I was an EMT student. I was riding along with the fire department, and we got called out onto a suicide, a successful suicide. And we arrived on scene, and the ambulance was there, the police, fire, everybody was there, and he was pronounced DOA, or dead on arrival. So there's nothing we could do. We ended up going back to the station, having dinner, and then we had to go back and clean off the street. That was my PTSD. That's what formed my PTSD, is seeing the aftermath. And like I said, I'm not going into detail about what happened, but know that it was just not something that sat well with me. Now, my PTSD caused issues from that year on, and I still have issues to this day. And what it is if I see a train, I have to think of something else. If I hear a train, I start shaking. If I hear the wheels on the track, my neck hurts. And it's not just like an achy hurt, it feels like someone is holding a knife to the sides of my neck. It hurts, my muscles twitch, and that's my form of PTSD. Now, for the first 2 years after that accident, every single time I saw a train, I would cry. And it wasn't like I'm poor miserable me. It was, I could feel what that guy felt. In my neck, in my body, everywhere. I could feel it. I don't know how to explain it very well, but I could sense where it hurt, what happened. Like, it ran through my head. That was my form of PTSD. And to this day, I'm still getting over it. I'm still working on it. If I see a train, I'm really good at picturing something else, but if I hear it, I start to shake. I don't cry anymore, but I start to shake, and I can feel little tingling sensations everywhere. So that's my form of PTSD. That's how I handle it. I used to have nightmares. I used to see it over and over in my head. I can still see it very, very clearly right now in my head. And it's still something that I think will live on with me for a long time. Now, that's a very minor form of PTSD. It doesn't affect me on a daily basis. It affects me in a lifetime basis. It's something that I'm going to probably have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I'm learning tricks and everything to help me with that, but it's not something that's going to go away tomorrow. It just won't. Now, for major PTSD, I'm going to go back to the military personnel. Military personnel who have been overseas, who have fought. And I'm not just saying like the Iraqi war or the Afghan war. I'm talking about things like the Korean War, World War II, the Gulf War. People who go to war and see physical damage to other people, whether it's their opponents or your friends or the camp that you're at, it affects you in your own way. And unfortunately, those individuals take that visualization back with them when they go home. They don't just leave it in the place that they were at. And so It's really hard for people to understand that, and I don't understand it. My form of PTSD is very minor compared to a lot of people who come back from the Middle East, or veterans who have had to deal with this for a long time. It is something that we can't really explain to other people without them saying, well, just go talk to a psychologist. Talking to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or someone who specializes in that field is great. They can help you, give you tips, but it's not going to take your PTSD away within the next day. It's something that takes years to get over. It's something that is really hard to deal with on a daily basis. It can cause nightmares, it can cause cold sweats, panic attacks, suicidal thoughts. There are so many different ways PTSD affects people, and it differs from person to person and what they experience. So like I said, my form of PTSD is very minor compared to those who come back from war, or those who have experienced war. It is so scary to deal with sometimes, and I sympathize with that. I don't understand it, but I sympathize with you on that. For those of you who are suffering from PTSD from war, seek out help. I guarantee you it's going to start a process. I can't guarantee that it's going to finish that process, but it's going to start the process that is going to get you in the right direction. Talking to someone and helping yourself through it is going to help you in the end. I promise you that. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, and trust those who are there to help you. Now, if they're pushing you to the point that you just are getting so frustrated that they don't understand you, find someone else. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the people around you. Push yourself to do what's best for you, not what's best for everybody else. So I can sit here and tell you, oh, you have to go talk to a psychologist. Oh, you have to go see a doctor for all this. You don't have to listen to me. If it's not best for you, then it's not best for you. I'm just saying that it's good to talk to someone. It's good to start analyzing what is best for you. So for me, I waited almost 4 years before I went to go see a psychologist about my PTSD. And in those 4 years, I was crying a lot. I was panicking. I would have panic attacks randomly. It was one of those things that I just couldn't handle by myself. And I talked to a psychologist, and she really didn't help me. She didn't make it worth my while to go talk to her. So what did I do? I just stopped going. It was best for me not to talk to her because she wasn't helping me. It didn't feel like she was helping me. There are people out there who are willing to help you, who are willing to work with you to make sure that you are helping yourself. And so, again, this is a very broad subject. It's something that you can completely change your mind on. If you need someone else to talk to, then go to someone else. If you just need a shoulder to cry on, go find someone who can help you, a friend, a close friend. A lot of my friends didn't really understand what was going on and how it was affecting me. There was one person who understood, or I thought understood, and he was the best thing for me. We were watching something one night, we were watching TV, and I heard a train. Not through the TV, like we had a train passing by, and I started to have a panic attack. And he gave me a hug, and he held me close, and he goes, "It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to be the thing that ends your life." And to me, that was the most comforting thing in the world, was knowing that someone was there to give me a hug, to make sure that I was okay, and to tell me that it was going to be all right. Because in my mind, I thought it wasn't going to be all right. I thought I was going to have a panic attack and that it was going to be a bad night. And it ended up being a very good night for the reason of what he was saying. But it could be different for you. But try your hardest, take a step forward, see what you can do. I'm running out of time again, guys. I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys sticking around until the very end. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or subjects you want to talk about in the future, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Other than that, click that subscribe button or wherever it's at. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later.